Welcome to Victory Motivation Winning Mindset channel, where mental strength fuels your success and struggles are turned into comebacks. Sit back and relax, like, share, and hit the subscribe button to join our winning community. If you've been following from parts 1 and 2, you already know this isn't hype, this is training for the mind. We've explored the silent war within, what makes a winner's mind different, the psychology of winning under pressure, and the daily training routine of a strong mind. If you haven't seen those yet, pause this one and go watch them. I'll leave the links in the description. They're not just episodes, they're the foundation of everything you'll learn next. Because today we go deeper. This is part 3 of How Winners Train Their Minds, where strength becomes structure and clarity replaces chaos. We'll uncover discipline, the art of mental muscle, emotional mastery, controlling the storm, vision and strategic thinking, rebuilding the inner dialogue, and finally, the call to power. This is where mindset stops being theory and becomes muscle, where discipline moves from habit to identity, where the voice inside you doesn't whisper doubt, but commands victory. Take a deep breath, center yourself, because from this moment on, every second is part of your training. Welcome to the final chapter of How Winners Train Their Minds. Let's begin. Discipline, the art of mental muscle. Discipline, the word most people fear, but the one every winner worships. They think it means restriction, limitation, denial. But that's the lie of the comfortable mind, because discipline is not punishment, it is direction, it is not the cage of freedom, it is the path to it. Every time you choose discipline, you're not saying no to life, you're saying yes to your higher self. The one that's tired of excuses, the one that knows comfort is a slow death dressed as rest. Discipline is the art of mental muscle, and like every muscle, it grows through resistance. You don't get stronger by lifting what's easy. You grow when you face what's heavy, consistently, and your mind works the same way. You train focus the same way you train strength, through consistent resistance. Every distraction resisted is a rep. Every impulse controlled is a rep. Every emotion mastered instead of obeyed is a rep. That's how mental muscle is built. Quietly, repetitively, in the unseen moments when no one is watching. Discipline doesn't feel heroic when you're in it. It feels boring, repetitive, monotonous. But what feels like monotony to the impatient feels like mastery to the committed. Because repetition is the architect of greatness. Science calls it neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself through repeated thought and behavior. Every time you repeat an action, a neural pathway strengthens. Every time you resist temptation, a new circuit fires. Every time you do what's hard, your brain learns, this is who I am now. That's not magic, it's biology. Discipline is how you sculpt your mind into a weapon. Think of an athlete, the sprinter who runs the same 200 meters 1,000 times, the soldier who drills the same movement until it's second nature, the pianist who plays the same passage until it's carved into muscle memory. That's what discipline does to your mind. It removes hesitation, it rewires fear, it replaces thought with instinct. So when chaos comes, the disciplined mind doesn't think, it executes. The undisciplined person says, I'll do it when I feel ready. The disciplined person says, I'll do it until I become ready. That's the difference between potential and performance. Discipline doesn't wait for motivation, it creates it. Because every act of discipline builds proof, and proof builds belief. You don't need to believe first, you need to begin first. Belief comes from evidence, and evidence comes from action. Discipline is the bridge between chaos and control. On one side, distraction, doubt, noise. On the other, clarity, peace, focus. Most people stand at that bridge and stare. Winners walk it, one painful, patient step at a time. And that bridge is built from small choices. Waking up when you said you would, finishing what you started, speaking truth when it's hard, showing up even when you're tired. Every one of those choices is a plank laid on that bridge. And one day you look back and realize you've crossed to the other side. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about being unbreakable. It's about learning how to rebuild faster every time you fall. Winners fall just as often as anyone else, but they rise faster because they've trained their recovery muscle. They know failure is data, pain is feedback, and discipline is the system that turns both into growth. When your friends give up, discipline whispers, "One more round." When fatigue sets in, discipline says, "Just one more rep." When the world doubts you, discipline says, "Prove them wrong quietly." Because the disciplined mind doesn't argue with emotion, it commands it. Every time you say, "I'll do it later," you teach your brain to delay. Every time you say, "I'll do it now," you teach your brain to lead. And over time, those lessons write your destiny. So ask yourself, when your motivation fades, what will remain? Because that's the question discipline answers. When the rush of inspiration is gone, when nobody's watching, when your dream feels far away, discipline is what stands guard. Discipline says, keep going. You train for this. Your feelings are not your commander. Your mission is. Your mind is your weapon. Sharpen it daily. Remember this. Your dreams are not waiting for your motivation. They're waiting for your discipline. Your success is not built on your feelings. It's built on your focus. And your future self will thank you for every small act of discipline you practice today. Because discipline doesn't just build success, it builds self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of power. Your mind is your weapon. Sharpen it daily. Your discipline is your armor. Wear it with pride. Because the battle isn't out there. It's in here. And if you win the battle within, you win everything. Emotional mastery, controlling the storm. Inside every human being is a storm, the storm of emotion, anger, fear, jealousy, anxiety, doubt. It swirls unseen until pressure hits. And that's when you discover who truly commands the ship. You see, emotional mastery isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming aware. It's about standing in the middle of your own chaos and choosing calm. It's the art of staying still while the world shakes around you. The difference between the average and the extraordinary isn't how much emotion they feel. It's how much they control. Because life will test your patience. It will throw insults at your peace, tempt you into reacting, provoke you into losing your focus. But winners, and they don't hand over control that easily. They don't let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. They understand something simple, yet life-changing. The one who controls his emotions controls his outcomes. When you master your emotions, you become the eye of the storm. Still, focused, unmoved. While everything else spins in confusion, you remain clear. Think about the Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who ruled a chaotic empire, but never let chaos rule him. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Now fast forward 2,000 years. Modern warriors are still practicing that same principle. Elite soldiers, entrepreneurs, leaders. Before they make a move, they take a breath. Because breath is power. Breath is the bridge between reaction and reason. When you breathe through pressure, you're telling your brain, "I'm in control, not fear, not panic. Me." That's the first rule of emotional mastery. Pause before you react, because in that pause lives your power. Most people never pause. They let emotion hijack their logic. They lash out, quit early, doubt themselves, then regret it when the storm passes. But the strong, the ones who grow, they train their mind to pause, breathe, and reframe. They ask, what is this emotion teaching me? What can I learn from this frustration? What strength is this pain awakening? Because pain is not your enemy, it's your signal. It tells you where to grow next. It tells you which weakness is asking to be strengthened. Anger, fear, sadness, they're not bad emotions. They're raw energy. But when you refine that energy, it becomes fuel. You turn fear into focus. You turn anger into clarity. You turn pain into power. That's emotional alchemy. Transforming chaos into clarity, turning reactions into results. Here's the truth. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you never get triggered. It means you never stay triggered. It means you catch yourself faster, you rise faster. You lead yourself before the world can lead you astray. Because the second rule of emotional mastery is, don't let the moment make the decision. A calm mind makes the right move. A reactive mind creates a chain of regret. There was once an athlete, undefeated, disciplined, unstoppable, until one loss crushed him. He broke down, isolated himself, thought the world was over. But then his coach told him, your emotions aren't the problem. Your relationship with them is. So he started studying his triggers, writing them down, observing himself like a scientist, not a victim. And in that awareness, he rebuilt, stronger, calmer, smarter. He learned that control doesn't mean suppressing emotion. It means mastering response. Because every emotion wants to teach you something. Fear teaches preparation. Anger teaches boundaries. Sadness teaches gratitude. And when you stop running from those lessons, you start winning the invisible game. Emotional mastery is the crown of the warrior mind. It's what separates leaders from followers, winners from wishers. Because when life hits hardest, the person who remains calm wins twice. Once over the problem and again over themselves. So remember, the storm isn't your enemy, it's your training ground. Each wave that hits you, each emotion that challenges you, is shaping your strength. The goal isn't to escape the storm. The goal is to become the calm inside it. And when you master that, life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. Vision and strategic thinking. Most people move through life reacting. They wake up after the alarm, respond after the problem, speak after emotion takes over. They play checkers on a chessboard, moving piece by piece, never seeing the pattern forming around them. But winners move differently. They think in strategy, not impulse. They see 3 moves ahead, not just the next moment. They understand that power isn't in motion, it's in direction. They live by one law of greatness. Your future is built in silence, not noise. You see, the world celebrates the loud, the announcements, the results, the headlines. But true power is quiet. It's born in the silence of planning, the stillness of thought, the patience of preparation. That hesitation, that pause, is mastery. Because in that pause, the mind calculates. It sees not just what's in front, but what's possible. That's the first step to a strategic mindset. Pause before reacting. The undisciplined mind reacts. The strong mind waits. It studies. It observes. It lets emotion burn out before it decides what to do next. The second step, see the whole board, not just the next move. Average thinkers chase quick wins. Strategic thinkers play for legacy. They zoom out. They see the big picture, the connections between decisions, habits, relationships, and purpose. Because every decision is a move on your board. And most people lose, not because they're weak, but because they can't see why they're moving. A soldier studies the terrain before the mission. A chess grandmaster studies not just moves, but patterns, tendencies, timing. A CEO studies the market before launching a product. So why don't we study ourselves before making life choices? Why don't we step back before we speak, before we spend, before we quit? Because in that pause lies wisdom, and in wisdom lies power. The third step, act with intention, not impulse. Every great strategist moves with purpose. They know that one small, calculated action today can change the outcome of the entire game. They don't chase instant gratification, they build momentum. It's not glamorous, it's not loud. But that's where vision is born, in the moments when no one's watching. Every empire begins in silence. Every transformation starts in obscurity. Every master once worked in shadows before the light found them. Sun Tzu wrote, "Victorious warriors win first, then go to war. Losers go to war first, and then hope to win." That's strategy. It's not luck. It's foresight. Winners create their victories before the battle even begins. They rehearse in the mind what they want to live in reality. They visualize outcomes until their body, their choices, their environment all align with that vision. That's what separates wishers from winners. The wisher says, I hope it works. The winner says, I've already seen it. Now I'm just catching up to it. Your vision is your map. Without it, you'll chase everything and capture nothing. You'll confuse movement for progress and wonder why you're tired but not fulfilled. Because there's a difference between being busy and being strategic. Busy people react. Strategic people design. And that's why clarity is everything. When you have a vision, discipline feels lighter, decisions feel cleaner, and distractions fade faster. Because you finally know what deserves your energy and what doesn't. But vision isn't built overnight. It's sculpted through silence, through reflection, through long nights of asking, what am I really building? What will this mean 5 years from now? What version of me must I become to deserve this future? Because the truth is, you can't think strategically if you're still thinking emotionally. You can't build the future if you're still haunted by the past. So you must quiet the noise to hear your next move. Remember this, strategy is the highest form of self-respect. It means you value your life enough to plan it. You respect your energy enough to direct it. You honor your purpose enough to protect it. That's how vision becomes victory, through patience, clarity, and relentless focus. Because success isn't built on chance, it's built on choice. And those choices, made in silence, compound into legacy. The visionary doesn't need to announce every move. They don't need validation. They don't need noise. They just keep building, step by step, thought by thought, until one day, the world looks up and calls it destiny. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't destiny, it was design. Rebuilding the inner dialogue. At some point, the war inside you stops being about the world and starts being about the words. The words you whisper to yourself when no one's around. The words that echo in your head long after the world has gone silent. Those words build you or break you. And for most people, that voice inside has become a quiet enemy. It says, you can't. It says, you're not ready. It says, you'll never be enough. But the truth is, that voice was never meant to be your judge. It was meant to be your coach. For years, we talk ourselves into smallness. We negotiate with our potential. We edit our dreams to fit our fears. We call it being realistic when it's really just being rehearsed in self-doubt. But every winner, every true transformer, comes to a moment of rebellion. Not against the world, but against their own old narrative. A point where they stand face to face with the voice in their mind and say, no more. Because winners don't talk to themselves like victims. They talk to themselves like leaders, like warriors, like builders. They replace I can't with how can I. They replace this is hard with this is training. They replace what if I fail with what if this changes everything. This is the quiet reconstruction of identity, the invisible work that no one claps for, but everything depends on. 3 simple sentences, but they rebuild a lifetime of broken belief. I can, because potential isn't something you earn. It's something you remember. It was there all along, waiting beneath the noise. I will, because intention creates motion, and motion, repeated long enough, becomes identity. I must, because at some point the goal stops being optional. It becomes oxygen. You don't wish for it. You breathe it. You live it. You see, the mind that was once your enemy can become your greatest ally. The same voice that used to doubt you can be trained to defend you, to guide you, to focus you. Neuroscience calls this self-directed neuroplasticity, the ability to reshape your thought patterns through conscious language. But in plain truth, it's just this. When you change how you speak to yourself, you change how you see yourself. And when you change how you see yourself, the world starts responding differently. You begin to understand that confidence isn't loud. It's consistent. It's built through micro conversations with yourself every day. Every time you choose to say, I'll try again. Every time you whisper, I'm learning. Every time you stand up when no one expected you to, you rewire the blueprint of who you are becoming. That's the moment life starts to feel different. Not because the world has changed, but because your words have. And when your words change, your story changes. This is the transformation most people never see because it happens quietly inside. It doesn't shout, it doesn't trend, it doesn't post. It simply rewrites your inner script. And that's where real strength begins. Not in the body, not in the bank account, but in the conversation between you and your mind. So tonight, when the noise fades and you're alone with your thoughts, remember, you are the author of that voice. You can rewrite every line. You can choose the words that build you, not bury you. And maybe for the first time, you'll say it and mean it. I can. I will. I must. Call to power. Every morning, a silent battle begins. You know it now. It's not against the world, not against time, not against other people. It's against the voice inside you that wants to stay comfortable. It's against hesitation. It's against the urge to delay, to doubt, to surrender. That is the real enemy. And you, now, have the weapon to win. Train your mind, build your discipline, shape your destiny. Because every thought you repeat becomes a habit. Every habit you strengthen becomes identity. And identity, that's where destiny is written. You've seen what separates those who rise from those who stay stuck. It's not luck. It's not circumstance. It's how they train their minds when no one's watching. It's how they stand tall in silence. It's how they reframe fear, discipline emotion, and turn struggle into structure. That's the real power. Not in avoiding pain, but in transforming it. Not in waiting for calm, but in creating it. Not in being perfect, but in being persistent. Listen closely. This isn't just motivation, it's memory. It's the reminder of who you were before the world told you to settle. Because inside you is the same strength that built empires, that survived storms, that stood back up 1,000 times. It's still there, waiting. All you have to do is train it. Every morning a silent battle begins. Now you know how to win it. When the world sleeps, you rise. When fear speaks, you listen, but you don't bow. When doubt whispers, you answer with action. You are not the product of your past. You are the architect of your future, and your greatest victories won't be shouted. They'll be lived. So when tomorrow comes and the battle begins again, remember this. The mind is your battlefield. The thoughts are your soldiers, and discipline, that's your weapon. Use it, sharpen it daily, and no matter how many times the world tries to shake you, stand your ground. Because once you master the mind, you master the moment. And once you master the moment, you master your life. If this message found you when you needed it, subscribe, because your victory begins in the mind. The mind is the battlefield. Win it, and you win everything. If this message lit a spark in you, don't let it fade. Like this video as your reminder that growth begins now. Share it to pass the fire forward, and subscribe to this channel because your evolution isn't coming, it's already begun. Remember, your mind is the battlefield. Win it, and you win everything.